Hello, this is I Provide Info to Protect Against Climate Change, IPCC for short. And I'm Amina, your entertainer for this day, evening, morning, night, whatever time you choose to watch this video. And for those of you who are not the IPCC who does not know, who are watching this video, IPCC stands for Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And I am here to attack the IPCC. So what I propose to you guys is that you should lean towards educational and yet funny videos. Educational, you have that part down. It's just the funny that we need to work on. So I'm proposing this to you guys because kids in my generation nowadays, we have a short attention span, as a student said in my class. And I find this to be true. I find myself wandering off whenever a teacher, does a lecture, and I just cannot focus. So sometimes we would know this information if we flip through channels and we just find it on the news, or the teacher talks about it and they tell us, or we have to do a assignment on it. I'm going to be mentioning this clip, the story of stuff, but not now, later on. I'm going to go into the more important things for people who are not the IPCC to watch, or the IPCC to see a student actually knowing these things. So, you see, our global temperature right now is at 399.47 ppm. ppm meaning parts per million. What? Our normal outdoor air temperature is 250 to 350 ppm. How in the world did we exceed to 399.47 ppm? Don't even know. I can tell you, of course, the way we exceeded is by long, hot showers that releases CO2 into the atmosphere. Leaving the light on, that's energy burning. Also, putting CO2 in the atmosphere, I've learned recently that the energy we use when plugging in our things to charge is burning coal, and as well as leaving water running. So I'm going to show you guys a video of what happens when we exceed our global CO2 level. Sometimes it can be hard for people to do the transition of using fossil fuels and going into the more cleaner, efficient energy. Mostly because being clean and efficient costs a lot of money. So, and for the richer environments, for the richer nations, it's much more easier because they have the money to make their society much more proper and healthier. So through images and videos with animation and useful information on why the poor nations should switch to the cleaner, efficient energy, would spark a light bulb in their head saying, oh, I'm doing this for the environment and for my health and the care of the people and the future generations. Do not leave this up to the future generations to figure out. We should act now before it's too late. So I'm going to show you guys a picture of emission trade. What I got from this image is that the wealthy nations are forcing the poor nations to sell emissions. The poor nations have no means but to sell it because their hands are tied. And this is a way that most companies would keep within their limits of their CO2 waste that they could produce. So you guys have already claimed humans as the anthropogenic source of climate change. Anthropogenic, meaning human-based. Do not let this stick with us forever. Please. Just by doing these funny educational videos, it will stick in people's head. Visuals, they have much more words than the words that are coming out your mouth, if you know my analogy. So do not screw up. So there's this movie called Chasing Ice, and it's this photographer, and he has no background. Well, almost. He has little background of, the of CO2 and global warming. So he had a very big concern for the glaciers retreating in Iceland, and he went out and he took photos of the glaciers retreating, and he wanted to share that with people. So he had a big passion of getting this information across. And even though he had surgeries for about 3 times on his legs, and his doctor said do not do any more climbing, he did that just so that we could have a concern for what's going on in the environment. So if you guys just have the passion like the photographer did, you could do that and share it with the rest of the world through video. He showed it through a movie, through visuals, and they speak more than just you standing there and saying it. And it's easier for us to be creative. It comes to us naturally. Why do you think most commercials are entertaining? Because they want to sell a product. They want people to buy it. They want it to be flashy and exciting, the biggest new thing out there. So why not?
This is a story about a world obsessed with stuff. It's a story about a system in crisis. We're trashing the planet, we're trashing each other, and we're not even having fun.
So in this clip, it's about her talking, this woman, she's talking about recycling. And I really enjoyed it because it had, things to keep my eyes on. So as she was speaking, it would kind of fade away in the background, but if we look at the images, we would interpret what would happen through that image, through the images that she's showing us. So we see and we want. Visuals are effective. I'm showing you guys these clips and stating all of these information because this could be a possible turn on events for you guys. Turn on events if you guys would take the behind the podium life and just throw it in the recycling bin. Just start being entertaining and of course educational. Why do you think there are fun educational games out there for kids? Because it stimulates the minds. So my call to action is for you guys to take this video into consideration and actually try to do this. Try to do funny educational videos just for us and just put it out there in the web. Just let everybody see it. Look at this plant. This plant is life. I'm life. We are all life. Please don't let it die. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good day.